Hi, I'm Karishma. Incremental housing, a community driven urban housing strategy. In India, as in many other developing countries, urban population growth and housing shortage have led to 26 to 37 million households living in informal settlements. Slum dwellers often inhabit in poor condition and face the threat of eviction or demolition. This paper discusses and study on the community-driven incremental housing strategy, which can be viewed as a solution to flexible intervention to the real need of these areas. Incremental housing approach is a constructive process which allows separation of dwellings to be built, altered, and dismantled without disturbing others. The paper discusses the parameters which have to be strategically considered to achieve a successful incremental development with the community participation. The parameters include land, finance, infrastructure and services, site planning and building controls and support, community organization and asset management, and strategic planning. The case studies are studied considering these parameters. The paper analyzes how the parameters have responded to the incremental development of the projects. The central research question would be addressing the extent to which incremental housing approach can be developed into a strategy for providing housing for low-income people in the urban centers of India. This would be analytically studied in with the understanding of issues faced by people within the informal settlements, the parameters of incremental housing, and the actors associated with the process. The central research questions and the sub research questions are framed in to provide aim and objectives. The aim of the study is to study and analyze the community driven incremental housing strategy, which could be accommodated as a proactive approach to rapidly resettle the uncontrolled growing population in the urban centers of India. Scope and limitation. The study initially tries to understand the current urban scenario and issues with the slums and urban housing shortage in India. The paper then would be discussing the housing policies in India and analyzing the housing scheme ongoing in India at the time of research. The study would be able to understand the parameters to be considered in the development of incremental housing strategy. The study would then be discussing incremental housing strategy as a solution to the current urban scenario. The scope of the research would be limited to understand the process and strategy involved in the incremental housing process and analyze how different actors involved in the projects and how the occupants responded to the incremental housing approach in post occupancy stage. Informal settlements. According to McLaren, informal settlements are housing units built on land where occupiers have no legal claim to or occupied illegally. The informal development areas are the unplanned areas where housing is not in accordance with the current planning and building regulations. It is also called as unauthorized housing. According to the estimate of UN Habitat, in 2010, 980 million urban households lacked decent housing, as another 600 million will lack housing between 2010 and 2030. By 2025, 1 billion homes are to be needed worldwide, costing an estimated $650 billion per year and $9 to 11 trillion overall. The graph depicts the percentage of urban population living in slums. According to Senkova, the characteristics of informal housing in the developing countries include insecure housing tenure, inadequate basic services, housing settlement that contradicts city bylaws, housing built on land owned by the state instead of the owner or resident, insufficient access to basic urban services, substandard housing and inadequate building structures, illegal subdivision of housing, poverty and social exclusion, unhealthy living conditions, and hazardous locations. In India, like many other developing countries, urbanization and the urban population growth with a lack of planned, affordable housing have forced millions of people to live in slums or in the informal housing settlements. Slum dwellers often inhabit in poor condition and face the threat of eviction or demolition. In the year 2018, data collected by HLRN reveals that government organizations demolished more than 41,700 homes, forcefully evicting at least 2 lakh people across urban and rural India. The majority of them were not resettled and they continued to live in extremely inadequate conditions characterized by high insecurity, lack of access to basic services, and fear. In accordance with the TCHS, 18.78 million or 23% of the urban households are in need of new or renewed units. The report also points out that the housing deficiency is significantly concentrated among the low income groups. The shortage may suggest the need for new house construction on vacant site, but as a contrast, much of the housing deficiency in housing arises from the existing stock. A huge share of deficient housing is either in need of upgradation or refurbishment or in need of replacement. The table shows the report by the TCHS. Housing policies in India. Basic services to urban poor under Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission. In 2005, the policy was launched aiming to provide slums with the basic infrastructure and to strengthen the municipal governance. The policy combined the solution for slums and the provision of housing together. The policy got delayed with the change of national government and the differences in the political views between the three administrative levels dealing with the slums, which include the national, state, and the local governments. National Urban Housing and Habitat Policy. In 2007, the policy was launched. The goal was to ensure sustainable development of all urban human settlements serviced by basic civic amenities for ensuring a better quality of life for all urban citizens. The policy stimulates the development of both rural and urban areas, provides affordable housing to EWS and LIG, financial concerns for housing and infrastructure, promote cost effective building materials and technologies, and upgrading slums. The policy suggests developing degraded lands unsuitable for agriculture but linked to existing large cities. Rajiv Awas Yojana. In 2011, Rajiv Awas Yojana was launched, aiming to bring legal solution to the existing slums that keeps the sources of livelihood and employment of the poor and finally empower slum dwellers with house ownership. The goal of the policy was a slum-free India. The project also utilizes public-private partnership. In 2015, Pradhana Mantri Awas Yojana or the Housing for All by 2022 was launched by the Prime Minister to construct 11 crore housing units by 2022 and achieve housing for all. It addresses the housing requirements of the urban poor. It deals with the slum problems and provides affordable housing for the poor. Under this act, each Indian has the right to live in an adequate housing with a private toilet. Incremental housing. Incremental housing provides people with a core unit and where people are encouraged to manage the rest of the provisions themselves. It is usually minimal in its level of services, finishes, and or sizes, but specifically it provides for the upgrading of these aspects. Incremental housing is an affordable way to rapidly resettle many families at a minimum housing and services level by linking the energy of families with a large scale city planning. In incremental housing, technical professionals and architects formulates in the beginning what the overall design is and then break the construction process into stages to be built over time. On the other hand, the poor evolve and develop the house gradually and elements and the solutions are generated as they go along. The parameters to be considered to achieve incremental housing strategy include land, finance, infrastructure and services, site planning and building controls and supports, community organization and strategic planning. Land. The government would have to negotiate with the private landowners using inducement and should encourage them to make land available or to develop it themselves on terms that are affordable to low income households. The three basic aspects that should be considered in allocating a land is cost and location, land acquisition and law reform, and land tenure. Incremental housing would require a flexible, relatively small short term loans that are responsive to the intermittent demands of households, changing fortunes, and priorities. Infrastructure and services. A strategy to minimize the initial capital cost of infrastructure and services is to improve them incrementally alongside the construction of dwellings. Such services may then be upgraded over time in response to the development of a community's cohesion, demand, and increasing ability to pay for the higher standards. Site planning and building controls and supports, allowing for mixed land use both at the outset of incremental housing projects and in their future development is an important principle that applies to all low income housing settlements. The extent to which low income groups depend on home based industries for their livelihoods and for their integration into the urban economy at large is now well understood. Community organization. It is essential that the capacity to support local organization in the management and maintenance of community assets be present right from the start of the incremental development process. Strategic planning. There is a need of a strategy that recognizes the detrimental significance of urban issues on national and regional development and the role that housing can play in resolving it. Incremental housing represents a valid and a practical method for activating community participation in governmental programs. These programs give housing with a limited amount of government investment to a large number of people. Community participation has established itself as a fundamental feature for the delivery of low income housing worldwide. People's participation is advantageous in community projects since the urban poor represent tremendous labor resources. El Salvador is an example for the successful intervention of community participation in governmental programs. The organizers of the project in 1977 selected the families, organized and trained, and began the process of building their homes. Through the mutual help, each household donating labor on weekends as contributions to their down payments. The mutual help groups, mostly led by women, formed a strong community bond that helped build and take on a share of responsibility for post occupancy improvement processes. Today, El Salvador is a fully developed as a subdivision with houses showing a wide range of expansion and consolidation and visible evidences of the wide range of strategies, preferences, and ability to invest in their homes. Many added second and third floors, although some only were able to make minimum improvements to the original core units. The subdivision has very good social infrastructure. Schools provided elementary through high school, a police post, all utilities and street improvements. Some have added small shops or businesses to their houses. Government schemes and most technical professionals have a predisposed idea of a prototype. The slum upgradation process in India always included relocation and rebuilding. As a result, the slum dwellers were relocated to places far from their networks, which include their source of income, neighborhoods, service or facilities they were using since long. In incremental housing approach, technical professionals and architects assume from the beginning what the overall design is and then break it into stages to be built over time. On the other hand, the poor evolve and develop the house gradually and elements and solutions are generated as they go along. The parameters which is studied in the literature should be met strategically to achieve favorable conditions within the incremental approach. The government's current housing scheme, PMAY, promises to fill the country's housing gap by 2022. Estimates indicate a housing shortage of 4 crore homes in urban India. Predicted on the standard one size fits all 30 M square housing unit replicable to infinity across the expanse of fields or stackable into lifeless multi-story blocks that can be left to perish outside city centers disconnected from infrastructure grids. The incremental housing strategy might help to achieve urban development and to keep India or other countries slum free even after 2022 if organized well. The paper discusses the parameters which have to be strategically considered to achieve a successful incremental development. Methodology. The beginning of this research presents a background and context for conducting the research. In order to understand the incremental housing process, the dissertation starts with drawing in depth upon knowledge of literature. As a matter of fact, the comprehensive literature review and the concept researches appeared over the years laid the foundation for forming an experimental study and developing the variables and the indicator that can be used to actualize this research. The study is qualitative one, carried out with the case studies. The study would include descriptive case studies, which include literature case studies. The literature case study would cover the examples of incremental housing and the processes associated with it and policy implemented by the organization for the support of the same. The case studies would be RNA Community Housing Indoor, Eravada Incremental Housing Strategy, Belapur Artist Village, and Quindra Montroy. RNA Community Housing Indoor. Started off with the service core and basic infrastructure, the occupants of RNA built their houses in stages according to their economic status and material availability. The occupants gradually but successfully built their homes as they continued to undertake the incremental housing construction that matches their own needs and ability to generate resources. Aranya has become an active neighborhood, providing an attractive environment to its residents, mixing housing with economic activities. The population initially targeted by the project was the poor and needy. They were being already pushed aside by the government agencies coordinating the project from its very inception, and they participated intensely in investing in the plots. Eventually, many plots end up in the hands of people different than those they were initially intended for. The development was to be cross subsidized by the sale of larger plots, a part of which were bought by investors who had no intention of building anything on them, kept as long term investments. The town centers were left undeveloped as money ran short. These unused plots dragged down the development. In contrast, the smaller plots have been very diligently built on. A part of the neighborhood where Doshi has built the demonstration houses have largely been taken over by the government servants and often entirely rebuilt the original houses. Other parts have developed in a slow pace at which their owners could save and reinvestment. A number of plots were sold by the owners or are offering for sale through brokers. The resale price of a 35 square meter plot has currently turned to $700, which is 10 times the original price. Low-income population of Aranya is a minority now. Since many of the earlier beneficiaries sold their land and moved to some other parts, there is no evidence of any NGO activity concerning with the community participation and no identifiable arrangements for credits and mortgage have been put in place to enable the slum dwellers to secure his plot. There were no arrangements for providing gainful employment for the potential beneficiaries. Many households were sold since loan repayment stayed as debt. The township followed a site and service approach. The occupants were provided with site and they were asked to build their home. The township shows variation in forms of the dwelling units. Yerawada Incremental Housing Strategy. The project uses incremental housing strategy respecting the community networks and relationships established by the residents over the past 40 years of living in the neighborhood. The involvement of slum dwellers from inception to completion of the project makes the project unique. The main strategy of the project was to facilitate community participation to maintain and nurture the assets in future. The project has been successful in exploring an alternate housing and slum upgradation model to be replicated across the country. In the post occupancy stage analysis, it is observed that on site, a majority of households took additional loans and entered into direct contracts with the contractor to develop additional floors for the housing to meet their family needs. These additional floors have not been supervised by the technical teams as they fall outside of the scope of the contract approved by the BSUP, which is the 270 square feet G plus 1 houses, and constitute illegal construction. Many of these additions have extension and balconies that protrude onto the street space. These additions should have been restricted as they might compromise the structural stability of the buildings built under the program. To effectively reduce the cost of construction, the four column technique was used, which could be seen as a group of structures sharing columns, walls, and structures. Belapur Artist Village, Mumbai. The houses built with incremental strategy grow from a single lean-to roof to urban townhouses for the poor and well-to-do respectively. The transformations could vary from a change in the finishes to change of a hall layout and from the addition of pavement to the addition of another floor above. Each of the dwelling units have been grown from a basic or minimal unit to a houses with values and emotions of the occupants. Some families try to make visual demarcation to houses they occupy by changing colors, planting trees, and providing gates to ensure privacy, etc. These changes could be defined as personalization. In this type of changes, the occupants try to add new elements to the house without altering the structure of the house. With changing time and respecting to the family's strength, additions in the built form were made by the occupants. The addition could be seen as a reaction of the occupants to flexibility and incrementalism provided by the architect. The changes could be of social aspects since the requirements increases as the generation expand, the need of extra spaces and privacy increases. A number of residences have introduced new replacement to the units they reside, totally discarding the old plan and constructing new house on the same plot. This could be categorized as replacement. Some house in the street side have been transformed to apartments or added a commercial unit because of the ease of access and parking facilities. Some dwelling units were abandoned, of which some were reconstructed and left as an investment. Quinta Menroy, Iquique, Chile. Instead of building a small house within a small budget, the project chose to build half of a middle income house with the basic infrastructure and services that family could not meet and left other half for future development with the family requirements. Within a few years of taking occupancy, the sense of belonging created sufficient improvement to the home extension built by the families themselves. The voids of the defined structural frame were filled in with facades of plywood, plasterboards, timber, and other available materials. Fewer than 25% of extension were built with used and temporary materials. The houses located on the main roads were extended at the front mainly due to the security concerns of the residents. The courtyard houses initially followed the expected modification patterns. Residents have started to build additional floors above those designed by Elemental, but the courtyards have been transformed into parking lots and distorted their intended function as community spaces. The decision to maintain the project within the existing land, which is close to the urban center, meant not only preservation of network of employment and urban services that has developed over the past 30 years of existence of the informal settlements, but also the reshaping of benefits of increasing land value. Although the initial budget of $7,500 dwelling per house have been surpassed by $800 during the construction phase of the project, Quinta Monroy still remains a financial success and now per unit is valued around 20,000. Discussions. The chapter contains the comparison of all case studies with the parameters identified from the literature review. The chapter also contains the comparative analysis of post-occupancy state changes in the projects. Conclusions. Incremental housing approach represents a valid and a practical method for rapidly resettling the growing urban population or to satisfy the growing housing needs of urban poor. The incremental approach to housing can provide housing settlement with a limited amount of government investment to a larger number of people. The incremental housing strategy might help to achieve urban development and to keep India or other countries slum free even after 2022 if organized well, providing provisions for secure tenure in which comparative or government owned the property in which the residents are co-owners would ensure secure living conditions under legal framework. For future implementation of incremental process of construction, designing a more flexible frame of basic house is important. The community participation in early stage of development could be a good step in achieving the satisfaction of the occupants. Why and how should government initiate and support incremental housing? By engaging householders in the production and management of their own dwellings and neighborhood, Far more legal, safe, and healthy dwellings affordable to low income groups can be procured than by conventional approaches. By providing security of tenure and access to services, even poor households are able to invest in the housing and neighborhood development through saving and borrowing, thereby sharing the cost of incremental urban development with the government. The basis of incremental housing is that government can do things what households cannot do efficiently, assemble land and provide infrastructure and services, and households do what government cannot do efficiently, which is construct affordable dwellings that meet the priorities and resource of their occupants. By recognizing the most effective levels of decision making and delegating the authority that is required for incremental housing development, partnership that enhance the efficiency of urban management and the administration of urban service can be built. Incremental housing strategies provide an opportunity to regulate informal urban development process and ensure adequate and relatively efficient provision of infrastructure and services delivery and rational land use. By planning areas of legitimate low-income housing development as part of an integrated urban development strategy, government can set strategic priorities of an entire urban area. By engaging households and community leaders in the incremental development of their housing and neighborhoods, a system of good governance that help ensure transparency and accountability in decision making can be created. By encouraging cooperation through incremental development, local communities are built and strengthened. Furthermore, by creating job opportunity through the provision of training and technical support, households' income can be increased. Thank you.